Hey guys, so this video is going to walk you through how to access Hawks, a quick overview of Hawks, and where to find all of that stuff within Hawks and within D2L. So if you log into the portal on the right hand side, you will see a link that says D2L Brightspace. Then click on your math class and then it will take you to a screen that looks similar to this. Now, depending on what math class you're in, your actual screen may look different, but the format's still going to be the same. So when you're in D2L, you're going to click on Content, and then from Content, you're going to click on Hawks SSO. So you can see it right there in the middle of the screen. When I click on Hawks SSO, that is going to be what links my SCC email with the Hawks account. Now, the great thing about Hawks SSO stands for Single Sign-On. That means that you are not going to have to create any account. If you've been with us for more than a couple semesters, you may remember that you had to create an account, right? Type in your password, security questions, and all that stuff. Well, that's been dissolved due to this Hawks SSO. Anytime you have to do homework, you have to do a test, this is how you're going to get into Hawks. So click on Content, and then within Content, you're going to click this blue link right around the center of your screen that says Hawks SSO. So you click that, and then it is going to take you to the Hawks system. You won't have to add into your class. You will already be there. If for whatever reason you made an account in Hawks prior and you used a Gmail account, a Yahoo account, used anything other than your SCC email, contact your instructor so that we can get you switched over to the appropriate account. Also, something to make note, if you see on my screen under View Course on the right hand side, there is nothing that talks about a temporary access. If you've never had Hawks before, you'll see a little red message that says temporary access expiring in blank number of days. That is where you go when you've purchased your access code. So you do have to have an access code for this class. The access code can be purchased through the bookend or through the Hawks website. It's about $100. It will be good for Math 101 and 102. Once you purchase that access code, you're going to click over here where yours says temporary access. Click on that. It'll prompt you to type in the code, and then you'll click go ahead. If you have already taken this class before, so if you took 101 in Hawks, or if you're repeating 102 in Hawks, you do not have to purchase a new access code. You will be able to automatically, it should sync you into the new system. Going back to what I said earlier, if you know you purchased an access code before and it's saying that you have temporary access now, reach out to your instructor so that we can get it corrected, because that probably means you used your personal email instead of your SCC email, and it just doesn't know that those two are the same. But that can get fixed. Just contact your instructor. So just a quick overview of Hawks. You'll see here is your course layout. Now, depending on your instructor, this may look a little bit different. Depending on your class, this may look a little different. I'm going to kind of take you into one section of homework and kind of give you a quick overview of what all of these look like. So I just picked a section. Every single section has the same look. There's Learn, Practice, Certify. So the red is Learn on the first screen or the first box, middle is Practice, and then the last is Certify. Learn is where you will find the textbook. So if I click to open that, this is the ebook. There is nothing additional about Learn. There are some videos built in, may or may not see that, but there are some videos built in to the ebook to kind of help you along. But Learn has no problems associated with it, just examples, sometimes videos. Practice and Certify are going to look almost exactly the same except different numbers. The difference between Practice and Certify is Practice, you have these features in the left-hand corner, Tutor and Send to My Instructor. So if you click on Tutor, there are two options. Step by step, which is going to walk you through how to do the problem, piece by piece. Or Solution, the last tab, which is just going to give you the example. It's not really going to explain why. It's not going to explain where these numbers came from. It just gives you the answer. Solution is really good if you work the problem and you did some minor math, this will show you where you went wrong. Step by step is good if you have no idea how to start. And then, of course, that middle tab where it says Learn, that's just taking you back to the same textbook and the last screen. Okay? So, that's within the problem. Also, you have the button Send to my instructor. Again, depending on your instructor, that may or may not be turned on. But what this does, if you click that, it takes a picture of your screen and emails it to me as your instructor. It works good. I would recommend trying it on your own first with the tutor feature, just because I'm not as quickly available as tutor. I will not instantly respond to you. Also, you have this in the corner. This is new to Hawks, keyboard shortcuts. So there are some quick things, like for exponents, you can click buttons that'll take you kind of a roundabout way of not having to go through the keystrokes button. So there's a quick little link about keyboard shortcuts. Next, of course, is going to the next problem. Try similar. If you really think you know how to do the problem, but you did something a little bit weird and you want to try again, the problem is going to be exactly the same, except it's just going to have different numbers. So it's truly just try similar. Okay, so that's practice. You can attempt practice as many times as you would like. You can miss them all and no penalty. So there's no grade attached to practice. A note about this screen, anytime you leave your work, make sure you get in the habit of always clicking save and exit. This is going to save your work so that you can pick up where you left off. Okay, so that's practice. With practice, again, there is no grade associated with practice. Certify, however, looks a little different. The problem itself looks the same, but if you notice over here to the left-hand side, there's no tutor feature. Your homework grade comes from Certify. There's this progress bar in the top right-hand corner. There is this heart with a 3 in it. That's essentially my lives, if you will. I have 3 chances before I get kicked out. That's what that 3 means. If that number had been 5, I have 5 chances, or 5 strikes, as Hawks calls them. With Certify, Hawks has a mastery approach, which means you either get a 0 or a 100. That 3 means that you can miss 3 questions and still get a 100 on the homework. However, once you miss 3 questions, it will lock you out of Certify and send you back to practice so that you have to complete 80% of the practice problems before you can get back into Certify. So as a student, your best bet is to work through all the practice problems, take really good notes, and then open up Certify, because for every practice question, there is one exactly the same in Certify but with different numbers. So if you can do all of practice with the tutor feature and you can work through those problems, you'll have no problem on Certify. With Certify, if you miss an answer, so say I type in something, it tells me it's wrong, I have 2 options. Accept the strike, which means it's going to take that heart from 3 down to 2. Or I can try a similar question, and I can do that 1 time for each question. So if I click try similar question, and then I factor this one in this case, and I get this question correct, it will not count against my lives, if you will. So you kind of have 1 redo on every problem. Now, if you miss it twice in a row, it's going to count as a strike. Also, with Certify, make sure you get in the habit of when you exit, save and exit. If not, Hawks will not pick up where you left off. Also, just a little nuance that I've learned over the years teaching in Hawks. If you save a problem and don't complete it, when you reopen Hawks, it will change the numbers. So make sure you don't save a problem in the middle, because then when you log back in, it'll be a whole different problem. So make sure you finish out the problem, save it, and then start fresh on the next problem. So that's a quick overview of the lessons. In this screen, If you ever want to see a grade breakdown, you'll see your grade in D2L, but a specific grade breakdown, that's going to come in the top where it says grades. If you click on that, that's going to show you all your grades. So I don't have anything in here now because the course hasn't started, but you'll be able to see what you got on each individual test, homework, all of that stuff. Okay, so that is the lessons. Something else, this is called the mini to-do list. If you ever want to look at all the stuff, if you just click view course, that's going to take you to kind of a bigger list, if you will. Of course, lessons, that's where we just were. That's the same link to get to your homework. It's sorted by due date, so what's due first is on the top all the way down to what's due last. Web test won't matter until near the end of the semester, or sorry, in a couple of weeks. But with web test, this is where you're going to go to take your test. For my specific class, I have practice tests that you can already go ahead and look at, or I have the normal web test already in there. So you'll see test 1, chapter 6, math 102, this one right here. If I were to click that, this is going to kind of show you what the test will look like. Because it's not open yet, because it's not due, this thing over here will say start. When you click on that start button, it's going to prompt you for a password, which I'll provide in class when we actually get to the test. And then you'll be able to go to the web test from there. But I wanted to show you how to access the web test for when that comes about. Materials, there's a few things in there. I wouldn't recommend for my specific class to use the materials. They're there, but all the stuff that I'm going to give to you guys is from, it's going to be in D2L. There won't be anything that you need in materials. Now, for other teachers, this would be where you could find your notes. This could be where you'd find your addendum. Materials just means like additional handouts, if you will. So there's kind of a quick overview of Hawks. As we get working in the system and you play around with it, of course, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. But hopefully this gives you a nice overview. Do not use these arrows for forward and backward. Anytime you are working in Hawks, don't use the back or the forward arrows in your browser. It doesn't run through Hawks. It runs through D2L. So that's another tip. But there's a quick overview. If you have questions, let me know.